that you have. So now let's talk about Pisces. Pisces is called Mina or fish. And fish moves in water, and that specifically refers to the ocean. It's also two fish that are swimming in opposite directions. One is going this way and the other one is going the other way. But the first thing I would like to talk about is the ocean, right? Virgo is the mountains, right? The rain comes and washes the mountains. It washes all the dirt into the lowlands, and eventually all of the dirt gets washed into the ocean. And so the ocean is the dirtiest place on Earth, and it's ruled by Pisces. And for that reason, lots of times Pisces gets a bad reputation, right? Why is it? It's this, sweet little, Jupiter sign. The reason is because Pisces tends to get its hands dirty, right? Because Pisces will do dirty things. Virgo, on the other hand, resists doing dirty things as much as it can. But Pisces, when it needs to get its hands dirty, it has no problems doing so. And it's not surprising, because Pisces is the ocean, which is a dirty place, right? Pisces is aware of the dirt, and they know how to handle it. When we think about the young girl of Virgo, young girls can actually be a little squeamish about certain things, right? They get grossed out more easily than any other human being, okay? And that's Virgo. Everything sort of has to be clean and pure, especially if Virgo is afflicted. That tends to give a lot of fear and phobia around things that are not pure. And, the potential danger and everything that could make, that could make them sick, or just someone other cause a lot of problems to them. But Pisces isn't like that. Pisces is happy to get their hands dirty if they need to, right? Pisces knows how to deal with the dirt. And it deals with the dirt in a healthy way, just like the ocean does. Everything gets washed into the ocean, but the ocean has salt in it. And so all the poison and junk that gets washed into the ocean gets purified. And in this way, the ocean actually remains pure, right? Of course, along the coast, it might be a bit more toxic, but the ocean is constantly maintaining its purity. And it might also take years, for example, to catch up from an oil spill, but eventually the ocean will catch up. We can say that the ocean is like the washing machine of the earth, right? Because it washes all the dirt and impurities of the earth. Then, of course, most of the rain in the world comes off the oceans as evaporation, and that forms clouds. And then the clouds move over the mainlands, and they make rain all over the place and wash the mountains clean, and the cycle starts all over again. And so the ocean is really like the engine of the washing machine that purifies itself. As water evaporates, the water is purified, and then the pure water washes the dirt and the pollution out of the sky. It washes it onto the ground, and it washes it all into the ocean, where it gets cleansed by the salt. And this is also the reason why Pisces will get involved with dirty things, but they do so as a form of purification, right? Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And before we can get into a better life, starting from, Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, we need to let go of some of sort of our old baggage, okay? And sometimes that requires us to deal with negative tendencies and situations for a last time before we can finally release them. And the ocean of Pisces is meant to wash our soul from those egocentric behaviors, so we can become more aware of who we truly are, and we can become happy, and then also actually share our happiness with others. And a person who has got, nice planets in Pisces, they have already done a lot of that work, right? They got a clean ocean, so to speak, right? And so they have lots of good feelings that they can share with everyone. But a person who has got afflicted planets in Pisces, then they still need to, they still got lots of cleaning to do. Okay, that's like an ocean that's sort of heavily polluted. And then the person really needs to learn how to purify, that water. Okay, you could also say ultimately the water of their being or the water of their consciousness. Now, the symbol of Pisces is two fish swimming in opposite directions in the ocean. And this also shows the duality of Pisces, right? Pisces can go either way, and it doesn't matter which direction they go because it's all in the ocean water. Pisces might play the nice person one time or the bad person another time, really depending on the situation, right? Pisces doesn't see a difference whether they choose one or the other, right? They might go up or down, right or left, do the good or bad thing. For Pisces, that really makes no difference. And Pisces will go up or down or right or left or do the right and wrong thing depending on what needs to be purified, depending on the progress that needs to be made, right? And this is really what gives Pisces that absolute surrender to whatever life puts in front of them, okay? Pisces is the sign of surrender to really what is at hand, so that they ultimately, get to sort of a better place in their life, okay? I don't need this anymore. This is not good for me. I'm going to give this up. I'm going to be free and happy. And that's sort of what's most important for Pisces. So it's the sign of, purifying or becoming free from, all the dirt or those things that are just no good anymore for them, okay? And so Pisces is the sign that is opposite of Virgo, which is the pure sign. Virgo knows how to live a pure lifestyle, but Virgo is not pure enough, right? Everything needs to be purified more, and that's the purpose of Pisces. And we will actually talk a lot more about all the locations of the signs, of the opposite signs, when we are going to deal with Rahu and Ketu, because then those locations will become really important. There's a lot of symbolism in those locations, especially with regards to Rahu and Ketu, right? If you got Ketu in Taurus and Rahu in Scorpio, then you need to move out of the village into a hole, right? What does that mean? This is all what we're gonna talk about. If you have Ketu in Virgo, you need to move out of the pure mountains into Rahu in Pisces, which is, the dirty ocean. If you have Ketu in Aquarius, you have to move out of the place that is surrounded by water into the forest. And we are gonna talk about all of this in depth more in the Rahu and Ketu course. But those opposites, they are really, really interesting.